Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 5-Digit World Cup 2024 Map Pool Showcases. This is the finals pool, the second to last pool of the tournament. My name is Tyikoku. Today, casting alone as Miles. Usually here, he is in Toronto today, I believe, for the Eclipse. I imagine a lot of people are in North America are immediately leaving for the Eclipse if you're here. So, completely understandable. This pool is, we have made a lot of changes to it over the week. I think one of our most changed pools, honestly. I think we finished it pretty early, and had two different sessions where we changed it. So there's been a lot over time that has kind of changed, but we ended up on this final product today. Very happy with it. Let's get right into it with the No Mod 1. Alright, Grief and Malice. This a map by Okarasu. So the past couple No Mod 1s have been very standard. Kind of that consistency aim right. You've seen it in Answer, you've seen it in Cherry Bomb, you've seen it in Mirana Bukra, where you have the very standard, very comfortable aim. Maybe a little 1/4 here and there. We saw that especially in Mirana Bukra. This one we wanted to go something completely different in terms of having a raw aim map. This one, I wouldn't say the most comfortable map in the world. It really takes advantage of its spacing. It's not very often that you can really see 200 BPM at this consistently high of a spacing at this star rating. But this one manages to pull it off and really well. One a remix, I don't know how to describe it, I guess a hardcore remix of one of the backing tracks from Madoka Magica. Very good track. I think Helblinde went off with this one. Yeah, it's especially tough with the aim. They do not give you a break. I think even for the really experienced aim players, this is gonna be the one where your grip is feeling so bad by the end. I think every single one of a good amount of the foolers have actual scores on this map. It's really tough on the aim. I think my score's like a C miss on this. It's tough. This point is where your grip really goes to hell, and then from there you're struggling to hold on. One. Wait a minute, 41. So shorter than last week's No Mod 1. Deciding, since this isn't a consistency kind of pick, we're not gonna do 4 minutes this time. Try and lay off of it as much as we can. This does still feel fairly long. But what you're looking at is less than 4 minutes rain time nonetheless. Kind of balanced with the other No Mod maps. So hopefully the length shouldn't be too much of an issue. Kind of playing out the consistency is kind of somewhere else in pool this week. But that is No Mod 1. Let's move right on into No Mod 2. Very funny song. This one was one of our second pool session replacements. We've gone through so many No Mod 2s for this pool specifically, and I don't know how we seriously landed on Blue Zenith, but it happened. I think, if I remember correctly, it started as a joke. As we were looking for a replacement for our old No Mod 2, we made a joke about Blue Zenith, followed by just stopping and going, wait, can we just pull Blue Zenith? This one, once again, 200 BPM, following up on last week's 200 BPM No Mod 2. Though this one has quite a bit more flowing than last week's No Mod 2, especially as you reach the key eyes, of which there are 2 in this map. You can kind of see it on the diff graph. 2015 classic of the second key eye just being a tinge harder. But both those key eyes are very, very difficult. Broken apart by some very, very slow, like, free combo sections. If you can combo through the first key eye, you're looking pretty solid with that little free combo for the second key eye, but it does require you to combo through the first key eye, which is incredibly tough. Not like ktgster. It's a rarity, I feel, to see ktgster in this kind of slot. This is old. This is before custom tournament maps were a thing. As soon as custom tournament maps became a thing, this guy became the CS5 AR8 guy. And so it's really funny, like, it's 2024. We're so past when customs were introduced now that AR8 CS5 is kind of the identity that I think a lot of ktgster maps are associated with. That or the Gengauzo kind of aim control style that you see in, of course, Gengauzo, and you see in, like, I want to say it's Burning Star, the OWC custom from Grand Finals last year. Yeah, you can kind of see difficulty that this map reaches in the key eye. It can be very, very tough to hit consistently. To flow this at 200 BPM is a hard ask. Shout out to Inquisitives, by the way, who got the 1 mil replay on this, who was looking really, really solid for this FC replay. Last PI, definitely the hardest section of the map. It decided, like, yeah, it's certainly harder. I don't think anybody can deny that. Still works for the slot. I mean, the length of this kind of offsets the spike a little bit, and just there's a lot of difficulty for this as well. Enough to not make this one part like way too crazy, but it certainly is the toughest part of the map. But it is also the end of the map. It's gonna be it for No Mod 2. Alright, let's move on into No Mod 3. First custom map of the pool, a map by AJ Mosca. The No Mod 3 classic mapper, really. It has been a resident of the slot for the past 2 years. We do love our AJ Mosca maps. one. I remember the this Classroom of the Elite opening drop, and there was multiple mappers in the 5WC server saying instantly like, hey, I need to map this. AJ was the second attempt. We had Aglius, the mapper of Kagura-hime from last week, try it first, but ended up being AJ who actually ended up finishing it. I think Aglius had mapped a little bit and then decided to just leave it to AJ, and then I think Hit sounded this map, if I remember correctly. This one, yeah, it's similar to last week. It's kind of a bit of a full flavor ult. Definitely an aim control focus, as you see in a lot of AJ Moscow maps, but there is some pretty demon flow at points in this map, so not completely just snap aim. Oh, Agri's just uploaded? Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. All right, Trip. This one, 3 minutes, almost flat. So, just about as long as last week's, a little bit shorter. At 146 BPM, I will say it is pretty tough. You're getting high up there in terms of the alt BPMs for this stage. Or sorry, for the star ratings. So, you know, you have to really be comfortable with your alt players. This is not the kind of map that you can kind of just single tap through. I tried. Truthfully, honestly, I tried, but it is so fast. So you've got to really hammer home your actual ult consistency. Don't just, you know, throw your aim rosters, single tap, hope for the best. This is definitely one for your aim control players. Pretty demon flow patterns again though, so have to make sure that you can hit all of those. There are these little flow spikes all over that you have to be so confident on. Kind of the bane of a Nomad 3 player, really, hitting those consistently. But if you can hit those consistently, it is a huge reward. Shoutouts as well to Taldux for the replay. Taldux really stepped up this week. Who I don't know if Taldux has submitted a replay before this round, but you know what? They popped off this round. And thank you again to AJ for the custom Nomad 3. Let's move on into Nomad 4. And this one was this was another one of the more contested slots where we were kind of unsure what we initially wanted. I think generally what we've done has been, you know, you have some sort of slider tech in Nomad 4, with the exception of round of 16. Nomad 4 is really hard slider aim, and then like Hard Rock 3 or Hidden 3 has some sort of flow tech. This one, we wanted to stick to the sliders. There was some ideas, but generally, the slider aim works so well for the this slot. Yeah, this one a mirror map. Mirror, one of the best in the game. When it comes to tech, I absolutely love mirror. This guy's absolutely insane. Shout out to Telix for this replay as well. Again, Telix popped off. I want to say that Taldux is the most appearing replayer this week, but everyone's here. In some sense, there's a lot of, fairly balanced in who did the replays this week. It's actually kind of crazy. This one, I do want to mention the aim control in this one as well can also be quite a beast at times to overcome, especially when you're at 4 minutes. I think we've reached a point where your tech rosters have to feel very, very consistent. I think there's a problem with tech maps where they generally are pretty short across the board. Like, we have been pooling 2-minute tech for, I think the entire tournament. Yeah, the entire tournament. So this is a big kind of change, a big adjustment as far as the tech goes. The reason being that I think consistency matters, and with some 3-minute maps in the no mod pool, it allows us to try a 4-minute tech map in the no mod pool rather than, you know, maybe sacrificing it to another mod, and really hammering home your technical skill set, consistency with your aim control and your slider. You have to really be on the top of your game. And you know, if you look at the difficulty graph, you can see just how consistently difficult this map is. It's not like it's spikes with breathing room. But yeah, that's the whole map. I think you can tell Lex for the replay. Let's move on into our second custom map of the pool, No Mod 5. This one pretty silly. So the board team's been talking for a bit about you know, kind of introducing a little bit of precision into one of the No Mod gimmick slots. And just so happens that we have a savior in Gordon in that sense. To map an absolutely demon pumped by black eyed peas. What's the wrong word? So CS6, AR6, OD8. So you're looking at some very difficult reading combined with a little bit of that precision aim that can make this very difficult. Don't let the 5.1 star rating fool you. This is anything but so difficult to read. Yeah, this is the hardest mechanically that the patterns get, which really is some difficulty, but often what it's doing is kind of supporting the rhythm that, or sorry, not the rhythm, the reading, wrong slot, the reading that the AR6 presents, which again, so tough. This was actually originally intended for grand finals, I believe. Moved it down after a little bit of testing, deciding this is certainly demon, but not quite grand finals demon. She like men on drum. She wanna hit and run. Yeah, that's the key. That's what we do. That's who we be. ELACKEYE, the E, then the A to the S. When we play, you shake your ass. Shake it, girl. Make sure you don't break it. Song as well. It is so funny, so ridiculously hilarious to me to hear Black Eyed Peas in tournament. It's one of those artists that I just completely do not associate with Osu, but it's a banger. We also have the Pentagon pattern. the 5WC, the honor. We may not have Pentagon graphics this year, but multiple mappers went with Pentagon patterns. We saw it at the end of No Mod 3. This section can be very tough. Trying to hit those little cross streams. Again, there is a precision gimmick in this alongside its reading. It's not mono reading. So there's a little bit of spice. You're not going to have the easiest times. You do have to keep in mind 154 BPM. It's not the
complete hardest aim, but the AR is going to leave you second guessing a lot of the higher spacing patterns. It's very, very tough. Yeah. Shout out to Yoshi Lover for the replay as well. Really went ham on the reading this week. Super good stuff. Thank you again to Gordon for the custom. Move on into Nomad 6.
This one, we kept changing Nomad 6. It went from swing to like panda rhythm to swing to Rune of Opals. Kind of hammering home your rhythm control a little bit. This one, I think, a lot of tourney players will know this. Just off of its sort of frequency in the past. You don't see it as much nowadays, but Rune of Opals is definitely still a very present map. And it requires quite a bit of your rhythm control to come through. There's a lot of different rhythms that this map kind of presents towards you. You know, it's not something like Sputnik where you're not really sure what the song's gonna do, and that kind of influences your rhythm reading. This one, I think it's fairly easy to understand what the song is going to do, and how the rhythm is going to be mapped as a result. It's just a matter of actually performing it. The flow control combined with your reading and your rhythm control on this map can be very, very tough. I think the saving grace for this one is this is the only real short map in the no mod pool at just 1 minute 56 seconds of drain time. So it's over fast, but it is very, very difficult all throughout in just those control skill sets. See just how tough that flow-in gets. This is the hardest part of the map, and the flow-in combines with the sort of control over your rhythm, your tapping, that it just is really, really tough to hit. I know there have been a lot of teams that have been saying, like, a lot of the No Mod 6s haven't really felt like rhythm maps. This map is kind of the answer. So I'm hoping it feels a little bit better than some of the swing with some other rhythms thrown in. But that is No Mod 6, and that is the No Mod pool. Here we go. Third custom map. Hidden One, the End of a Thought. This one, AJ went hard with the customs, by the way. So it wasn't just a No Mod 3. I think he said at the very beginning of the tournament when he joined the mapping team that he was going to try and do, you know, not just No Mod 3. Try something else. This was one of the results, a very, very awkward hidden aim map. 240 BPM, so you're looking at a lot of difficult density. And this map rarely ever really gives you a break. Like even these 1/3 sections are so tough. There was a point where they were like by and far the easiest parts of the map, and it wasn't balanced for tourney at all. You'd have like a hard section for like 30 seconds, and then you'd have like 30 to 45 of completely free combo, and it didn't feel quite right. So this one. This version of the map kind of, it introduces some high spacing sliders to kind of introduce a little more difficulty into this section. I think it does really well. The constant tough aim difficulty all throughout. Doesn't matter the section really. It is so hard to aim, so dense as well. Shout out to Yoshi Lover for going for this replay.
sometimes the hidden maps really do just feel like reading maps no matter what. So I respect taking one for the team. Something to note is that this map has like no 1/4 at all. I actually don't know if there's like even a single triple. It is just the pure like aim rhythm. Okay, yeah, nothing. You are not going to have any trouble with this rhythm. 240 BPM can look scary on paper, but when you consider that there's like actually next to no tapping, it's just like how fast is your aim, right? So I wouldn't worry about, you know, are my aim players not going to be able to tap this map? Like, unless they can't tap 240 1/2 rhythms at all, shouldn't have any trouble tapping this map. It is just the awkward aim that is the real difficulty of this map. Alright. Thank you again, Yoshi Lover, for the replay, and AJ Mosca for the second custom map that he's done for this pool. Let's move on into Hidden Sue. This one, I know some playtesters had very different feelings from each other about this map. Some loved it, some hated it. Relayouter, map actually by Jackie, a member of Team Canada in this tournament. We went over that one. I think any mapper who's ever had to play their map in tournament knows that it is actually show over when your map is picked against you. It is such a debuff. I know I played USA tryouts this year, and my map was No Mod 1, and I got like 200k. It was awful. I hated it, every second of it. Playing your map always sucks, and so we were like, yeah, we can get away with it. This one is the AR8 reading. Kind of goes in line with No Mod 5, where No Mod 5 is kind of a position aim reading map, where you're not going to see as many people miss on reading. This one needed to kind of fill that sort of gap, right, to allow the reading players to kind of breathe a little bit. This one can be very, very hard. It's got a lot of aim control patterns that can be tough to read consistently. A lot of different sort of ways that the circles are placed. Jack did a really good job on making this map kind of mix you up wherever it can, no matter what, whether it's a slow section or not. It is CS 3.8. I don't imagine people are going to have too much trouble aiming at any of this. Like, you know, it's an alt map. There are some quick snaps that can hurt. But CS kind of saves it a little bit. That, and it's not particularly high spacing. It's just quick snaps. Yeah, this PPM is messed up. This is the one thing that I actually don't like in the map. It's just how the song does that slowdown, and the map has you still play it. It's totally fine, but like so sad. Even to the end, this is so tough. Shout out to Yoshi Lover for the replay. 562k on this map, not bad. We're to the point where it's like nobody's expecting replayers to get FCs anymore. No reason to try and ask for them, because these maps are tough, man. So very good score from Yoshi Lover. I think better than anyone else could get. So very good stuff.
Let's move on into Hidden 3. This is going to be Energy Synergy Matrix, map by Wispy. This map actually going for rank right now. Actually, I forgot to do something. So this map, oh, no, it's not just going for rank right now. It got qualified 66 minutes ago. We're so back. Okay, we decided during pooling, like, I was gonna message Wispy and be like, hey bestie, can you, like, not update the map for the tournament, whatever. We're back. We're so back. Literally just qualified Energy Synergy Matrix. For the Hidden 3 slot, this is alt, like, aim control tech. Where you have slider aim with some snap on Nomad 4. This one really hammers home your consistency with the aim control, a little bit of flow as well. So kind of the missing skill sets that Nomad 4 can't really cover, just because of its slider focus. A banger song. Tanchiky is one of the best in rhythm games, honestly. Energy Synergy Matrix, especially, they absolutely went off on. There's a sequel to this song too. I forget what it's called exactly. But it's a very similar title, and it's also awesome. Yeah, it does sound very similar. I know very popular is the Winver 1 RLC Captain 1 collab of this song. This is actually on this set. That's how we, I think that's how we found it, was the popular map ended up on this set. So shout outs to Wispy for getting that one. This is not that collab. A little too hard for this tournament, but was able to get it. This one also, it is worth noting, like the length, right? Length is about as balanced as the rest of the pools, but some of these earlier maps have just been like, ugh, as far as length. This one at 355, definitely a little longer than we would have liked, but just having looked at a lot of options, decided that this just worked a little better than a lot of the maps that we could find out there. But this is, I guess, the second to last long map of the pool. This is where the tech gets the most difficult, and also the alt element, right? To some degree, you kind of feel like you're playing a Nomad 3. The Hidden 3, or sorry, the Hidden adds a lot to it though. And like having to hit those cuts can be difficult even at this BPM. Even to the ending, this is so difficult. This map doesn't really ever let you get a break outside of the actual just programmed in break to the map. Shout out to Helblinde for this replay as well. FC replay, by the way, very good stuff. This is one of the maps that I fully expected like a 500k replay. So seeing a 1 mil, pretty impressive. Yeah, that's Hidden 3. All right, let's move on into Hard Rock 1. And when I said second to last long map in the pool, that's because we didn't have our consistency pick yet. So where Nomad 1 is raw aim, I feel like we're kind of going back to where we were in the qualifiers, or not qualifiers pool, sorry. There was one pool where we did this aim map in Nomad 1 and consistency map in Hard Rock 1. This is that. Some might call it TB1. 180 BPM for this map. It's not going to be a particularly challenging BPM, but the length on this one is the real challenge. You're also looking at CS 5.5, not your standard Hard Rock CS 5.2. So a little bit of a difference that can throw some people off. The consistency focus doesn't not make this an A map. It certainly does make this a nerves map, though. As said in the chat, Marathon Nerves Meltdown 2, I agree. This one can be very, very scary. 5 minutes is a tough length, but it's one that at this star rating, at this stage of the tournament, we kind of expect this team to be able to play and to potentially look at picking into for the more aim-centric, more consistency-focused rosters. You know, if you have a good mechanics team, 5-minute aim map, or yeah, 5-minute aim map, probably the most you could ask for, really. That said, you know, it kind of faces like what a No Mod 1 in most tournaments would face, in the sense of like it can be very, very much a toss-up against the right team, and in the late stage, a lot of these teams are going to feel very, very consistent on the star rating. This is very, very tough. This is the last real long, at least long, dense map in the pool. There's a Freemonsu's got a bit of length, but we'll get to that. Like from here on out, really everything is pretty short. Yeah, the Hard Rock pool is absolutely balanced around this length, where this 5-minute length would be awful if the other Hard Rocks were also very long. Luckily they're not. Kind of how we justified this length of map. I also do want to talk about 180 BPM. I think, like last week we had 210 or 208 BPM in the Hard Rock 1 slot, so this is a bit of a change up. I've always found lower BPMs with Hard Rock far more interesting than higher BPMs. I think asking a player to act 180 BPM aim with Hard Rock is such a much harder ask than like 220, right? I think it's very, very interesting when it becomes OD10, which I think benefits the Hard Rock specialists a little. You know, you can have your people who aren't Hard Rock specialists, and they're still going to be able to aim this and probably act it just fine. The Hard Rock specialists especially they kind of get that advantage. It's always nice, you know, you want to give that little bit of an edge to players of a certain mod, like the density on Hidden 1. Very much favoring the Hidden players. This is the BPM on Hard Rock 1 favors the Hard Rock players here. 180 BPM OD10 is always a little bit scary. Shoutouts to HRDs as well for this replay. Every week going on the Hard Rock maps. It wasn't this replay. It was Hard Rock 2. Every week I'm the one who downloads the replays, and consistently I find myself naming a file HR2 -HRDs 1 mil, and it's reached the point where Windows is reaching like ridiculous numbers of like, hey, this file already exists. This week's was in parentheses 3, which means it's actually the 4th replay that is an HRD's 1 mil on Hard Rock 2. He goes crazy on the Hard Rock every week. Also, the streams at the end of this map, kind of tough. 180 BPM, not crazy tapping requirement, but 10 is a little scary. But they're right at the end of the map. Shouldn't impede too much on like the aim players. And that is the end of Hard Rock 1. Thank you again, HRDs, for the replay. Let's move on into Hard Rock 2. This one was a literal last-second swap. We had 24 hours ago, we had a completely different map in. But I had a feeling it might not have worked. Playtesters didn't love it. So I had this just in case length of location map by Yokes. This song by Doomsday, the OSTER player, who kind of awesome. He's kind of good at this. This is specifically how I found out that the Doomsday did music before like a month later I'd be invited to map an original song that he did for Battle of the Box, Luton Star, ranked now by the way. Doomsday's been looking for that. He was at one point trying to get this set ranked as the first Doomsday song in rank. Unfortunately, didn't happen, but still an amazing set nonetheless. This one, CS 6.5, a little bit of a flow element in this sort of midsection, but just general precision consistency is kind of the idea. Yeah, Doomsday can make bangers, dude. If you haven't heard Luton Star, you gotta listen to that. Doomsday has got some power to him, dude. He is absolutely crazy. It's so crazy to see like an OC veteran really pop off in sort of a different space that's still adjacent to it, where we can appreciate Doomsday's music in game, and it's just kind of awesome. This guy's so cool. Good map by Yokes as well. A great replay by HRDs, and look at that. Just 2 minutes over before you know it. Very, very short precision map. Let's move on into Hard Rock 3. 152 BPM. This Hard Rock 3, a little bit scary. So there was kind of a problem to solve. I don't think Ruin of Opals' main skill set is rhythm control. I think it's actually like some really tough aim control. So Violet Rose, this one kind of works alongside Ruin of Opals to provide some tough rhythm control along with some tough flow control, which I think this pool has generally been lacking in. So adding a lot more to the flow end. You see a lot more speed elements in the rhythm that comes through in Violet Rose as well. So just a general, like, flavorful tapping map, I'd say. Alongside some, again, very interesting flow control. Yeah, this one, every week, for the past couple of weeks, we've been doing a little thing where all the poolers put their like favorite map for the round in immediately, and then we kind of bounce around them. This was one of those maps, alongside, I know, there's No Mod 1, this, DT4, I think were the ones that didn't get killed later. Yeah, shout out to El Cheer for finding this one. Always a great time to have that kind of control style map in Hard Rock. Give Hard Rock 3 slot a lot of use. Thank you HRDs for the replay as well. Let's move right on into DT1. And this one, custom number 4, AJ Mosca custom number 3. This one, the justification, by the way, for multiple AJ Mosca customs, because this is kind of ridiculous on paper, is that they all play very, very differently. This one, the song choice, what someone sees as the song choice savior, I think this is a Zelda parody song. What an awesome song. Spanish in DT1.
This one, 245 BPM. It's very, very fast. It can be very, very difficult to hit this kind of speed. This one has a lot more 1/4 than like the hidden one does. You know, another 240 aim map, which makes it very, very different and very, very difficult. You know, you have to have a little bit of that 1/4 control to really have your hand over this map. This isn't just like a plain and simple aim map. You have your number one hidden one hard rock one for that. You don't need this DT1 to give you aim points for free, so it's a little bit scary. If you have trouble tapping, this one can absolutely roll over your team. It's also I think it's variable BPM, so 245 isn't exactly right, but that's general rule. But that is going to be DT1. Thank you again, AJ Mosca, for the custom map. Let's move right on into DT2. I don't think this song is a particular new ground. We made a lot of changes to the speed pool over the week. Just ended up going with Succumb to kind of fulfill the 270. Where last week we had 262. Kind of following up on that, saying, you know, we'll raise the BPM bar just that little bit higher. Let the speed players eat. Just 2 minutes 28 seconds. And for 220 of drain time. This isn't like the most difficult length challenge in the world, but the 270 speed is going to cap a lot of people. It is also thank you, Mr. Pump and Chat, for reminding me. This is the second 10.3 map. We followed this direction that we followed in semifinals, where there are two 10.3 maps in the DT pool. Just kind of a nice AR balance, especially where the early tournament was unfortunately lacking a lot of 10.3. I think it's nice to really test that skill set, and I think a lot of players agree. Just not having it early tournament, I know a lot of players were very upset. So it's nice to have it. Not really anything against it in my opinion. Even speed, where it's not as common, definitely still common, but not as common. It's still, I think, very nice for the reading aspect of this when you're at 270 and it's kind of hard to tap, and that's what you're mainly focused on, and then suddenly these circles are really fast.
Laughing with stalks in your eyes and your hair undone.
Shout out to Zayfrost for this replay. Really hammered the DTs. Did a very, very good job. Great FC. So, shout out. Let's move on into DT3. Of course, we get it by now. DT2, you have your raw speed. DT3, you have some mixture of finger control or stamina. And this DT3 fits the bill. The finger control in this is very difficult. Your stamina should be feeling very, very drained by the end, just because of it. 220 BPM. This isn't exactly the speed gate map, but the difficulty and consistency of this patterning is a whole other thing. It actually isn't crazy hard to like flow or anything. It really just is about your tapping consistency again. Finger control really the name of the game here.
especially as you reach this point, your stamina might start to feel a little bit drained. This map doesn't really give you a break away from the 1/4, so it is very, very difficult. Some longer 1/4 patterns as well will be very, very troubling. This one... Actually, no, okay. I was gonna say the highest SR map in the pool, but there's still customs that I actually haven't looked at the map stats for, so who knows? But very high SR, as you get with like finger control at this point, right? Where it's so overweighted, or not even necessarily overweighted, but it's weighted very high. And so you just see 7 stars casually just chilling in here. But that is DT3, fairly short. You know, just a cheeky little 2 minutes, 15 seconds of drain time. That's going to be the whole map. Let's move on into DT4. Fun fact, this was actually Hard Rock 2 in the first draft of the pool. We moved this map around a little bit, but it's Wing My Way. What a classic. CS5 flow aim on DT, AR 9.7, a little bit of a density check. For DT, you know, 9.7 is a little low, but it's pretty good flow aim. Also the shortest map in the pool at just 1 minute 30 seconds. This is damn well TV size. I think this is pretty well known. Not really any explanation needed. Yeah, you throw a Wing My Way pool. Throw Wing My Way into the pool, and the people understand. But yeah, that's the whole map. It's very, very short. Thank you, Taldex, for the replay. Now, I'm gonna let Rob take this next one away. This is Free Mod 1. Neptune by Cydosis is the second of our 4 original songs in 500 World Cup 2024, mapped by Elcheer, who was an instant yes when I asked him to map this. I mean, one of the best speed mappers in the game, honestly. And he did an amazing job mapping this one. Cydosis as well. So good with the break core. We instantly knew once we got him back for this turn, it was like, yeah, you're doing break core. You're the GOAT. This one, 240 BPM. Very difficult. Finger control speed all throughout. Yeah, super good stuff. Thank you so much to Cydosis. Thank you so much to Elcheer and to HRDs for the Hard Rock replay. Let's move on into Free Mod 2. So, Free Mod 2, kind of the last, absolutely the last long map. Justification was that the other Free Mod maps are very short, and that this one has some pretty nice downtimes. Just as far as, like, you know, this isn't 4 minutes 30 of raw, like, difficulty. This one, so it's 4 minutes of drain time, first of all. CS5 AR8, pretty standard. You kind of alluded to it in No Mod 2, but ktgster, the CS5 AR8 guy. So this one is going to be very hard for your precision players. I've said it so much during the pool showcases in the past, but the balance is, of course, around the harder hard rocks. The AR8, not as present of an element, but definitely very tough. This one you can see in these pools, in these TIs, very tough on the aim. Very hard to hit, especially with the hard rock. Hidden, it can still be very difficult. Kind of goes in balance with the hidden 2. The hidden 2 is definitely not an aim map. Yeah, this one, it also has some of those small breaks between jump patterns that is very difficult for the hidden specifically. But generally we think very interesting as it's kind of a precision pick with the hidden joining it. All right, I was doing something. Okay. Yeah, that's Frematsu. Again, 4 minutes. CS5 air rate. Very, very difficult all throughout, especially for the hard rock. Let's move on into Fremod 3. Grievous Fate. This one meant to kind of fulfill, talked about it a little bit during the Hard Rock 3, but wanted a little more flow in the pool. This was something that was found to kind of fulfill this requirement. We had a different map in, but ended up just changing it out just to ensure it was right for the pool. The last map was very, very difficult, and playtesters weren't super huge fans, so went ahead, swapped it out, and I think this one works a lot better just for that purpose. Flow in this map is very, very consistent at 192 BPM. This one very consistent. I don't think there's ever really a point where we're in the 2 minute run of this map it ever really lets down. All the way through, super hard flow. Especially on hard rock. The hard rock player is a good luck. I think some of these streams, I want to say they do reach, yeah, like points where the circles are just not touching when you're playing hard rock. Alright, and that is Fremont 3. Very, very short again. Thank you, Inquisitives, for the hidden replay. Let's move on into our third 5WC 2024 original song. Beyond Reality by Naiko, the third of four among the 5WC 2024 customs. Naiko went off on this one. She went absolutely insane. The idea behind Beyond Reality, from very early on, it seems, was kind of an Akira Complex, rest in peace, inspired song. And she did amazing. Shout out as well to AJ Mosca, Kiari, and Fairy for the majority of the map, as well as the last two sliders, of the last three sliders. The first two were by Stage, and the final was by Naiko. Technically a 5-person collab as far as the ranking criteria is concerned. Functionally a 3-person collab. There was a lot of effort that went into this map from very early on. This was alongside semifinals Hidden 3 with being finished in a good time frame where we were able to see the mappers really to take their time to really hammer home what they wanted to do with this map, and I think they did a wonderful job. It is pretty difficult. We we had to go through some nerfs to make sure that it could still fit the pool at all, but I think we're all happy with it. Very, very good tiebreaker. Every single one of the people involved with this final tiebreaker project has done such an amazing job. Go over match stats a little bit before I leave you. This is a lot of BPMs. It was said in the Twitch chat at the beginning of the map. This is anywhere from 150 BPM to 230 at any given point. The general curve is that the BPM will get higher as the map goes on. It's not exactly that, but there is a lot of BPM changes, but the general sense is it goes up. You start at a low BPM, you start at 170, you go down to 150, you go back up to 200 where you play most of the map. As you get closer and closer to the end, you get a lot, you get up to 230 very, very fast. So there's a lot of different BPMs that this tries to test, a lot of different skill sets. Mainly a tech map, but generally it's kind of all over in terms of the skill sets, which is exactly what we wanted, right? TB multi-skill set. Again, thank you to the 3 to 5 mappers involved, and thank you so much to Naiko for coming on, for making an absolutely insane tiebreaker. But that is going to be the end of the finals showcase. Before we go, I do want to shout out our wonderful sponsors, Momokai and Blue Bunny. Momokai for the tapping, Blue Bunny for the aiming. You need keypad, you need a tablet cover. They're right there for you. Use code 5WC on both. But that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you this weekend.